And so it was only a couple of days ago, and a shock, amazing surprise announcement from Mojang that the next update, the winter creaking update, whatever you want to call this thing, definitely still should be 1.22. This next winter update got a whole lot larger all of a sudden with the surprise addition of a brand new resin block set. And of course, is definitely not neglected, definitely equally loved sibling, the brand new eyeblossom flower that has 2 different variants. It's really fire. Now, how it usually goes on these big, giant update days, I'm so excited. I jump into the game, I check out the update, I check out most of the update, but something you guys pointed out in the comments of that first video, so thank you. But in the preview, there's a whole nother brand new item. What is this thing? Tap like, let's talk about that and more. We'll get to the juice for sure, but first things first, some interesting creaking changes that I completely missed on day 1. So I've kind of pointed this one out before, but inside of this update, we sort of have not one, but 2 different forms of the creaking. The creaking, if we want to check this guy out, we've got 2 options. We could either summon it in the manual way in survival with a creaking heart at nighttime, or in creative mode, drop one into the world and check it out up close and personal. The brand new animations, they're so fire, and I don't know how I didn't even think to check this one out. They went ahead and made this thing way more creepy inside of this new update. We could check this thing out in survival mode and watch this thing. Look at the head, it like twitches around so disturbingly, and then the walking, it still kind of like swings around how it did before with the arms and the legs and everything. It's just doing a little bit more of a high kick or something. That twitch though, oh my god, that is so disturbing. What is Mojang cooking with this thing? Stop. Potato Man of Minecraft, a big shout out. I'll leave a link down below. Right here, we can take a look at the individual animations for every single thing the creaking does. So first up, we've got that clean walking one with a little head twitch going on. I love that. I hope they keep that. Then we've got the attack animation, which, check this thing out. It's like an all-out flail. From the looks of things, the creaking is damaging us. Well, look at how it's hitting whatever its target would be. The boy right here, it actually hits you with its head. Lore-wise, this is fascinating. I don't know what it means, but previously, before this week's update, this thing, instead of hitting you with its head, would like smack you with its long tentacle arm. And then our other animation right here is the animation that we're going to see before this thing, well, that's what this thing does before its dearly beloved soul departs from this cruel, cruel world. In other words, here in the dead of night, that whole little twitching dance weird thing, yeah, that's it. Now, still at nighttime, the 2 different creakings, they have a gigantic new difference. If I had a survival creaking, come out, wherever you are, I know you're near. If I had a survival creaking, like one from the log, well, this creaking still is going to be fully immune to all fire damage and just damage in general. However, the creative mode creaking right here, it's a little bit different now because if I set this thing into lava, hey, get back here, buddy, not so fast. We'll try that one more time. If I put this thing into lava, well, the lava doesn't really agree with the creaking. Lava and creative mode creaking, they're not friends anymore. And actually, creative mode creaking and a tiny bit of fire as well, nope, they're not friends either. They don't get along. This is an interesting change the devs have gone ahead and made. That means something like a campfire that deals damage constantly. Well, yup, that works on the creaking as well. Back over at nighttime, if I try the same move with a creaking from a creaking heart, we'll find that it just swims. No big deal. Next up, let's move on to the star of the show. Yes, resin. This thing is amazing. I love how Mojang just completely surprised us out of the blue with a brand new block set that's so fire. And I don't know about you, but I not only hope that they do this more in the future, but also it seems like this is turning the tides on people's opinion of this next update, which is so cool. But anyways, resin block set, more specifically the new resin bricks right here. An interesting thing was pointed out. So if we place these bricks down next to the nether bricks, we will find that these bricks, they line up perfectly. However, if I try and get the normal bricks here into the mix, well, they line up. Except do they actually really line up at the same time? Because depending on the orientation that you're taking a look at this block from, it's like this middle brick right here, it kind of lines up, like it kind of checks out, but it looks really, really odd. The big question here is this another Tough Brick 2.0 situation, or is this intentional? See, when the Tough Brick was initially added to snapshots about a year ago, the texture was flipped upside down and it didn't really line up with its counterpart, or maybe counterpart, the stone brick. I would argue in this case, the resin brick's not lining up perfectly with the normal brick block. It's not that big of a deal. After all, how often are you actually going to use resin bricks right next to that brick? I mean, come on, if that's your build division, I mean, look, anybody can build however they want, but these 2 blocks together, seriously, man, like out of everything that you pick together, those ones, come on. Instead, this brick block currently lines up pretty perfectly with the other nether bricks, which I think is a little bit more important. Another missed opportunity, I'd like to talk about it one more time because I feel like there is still maybe time. I wish the top of this block was a different texture altogether. Take a look at what the devs did with the chiseled top. You get the breeze design on the side, so you get the creaking design on the side there, but you get a completely different top of the block. Imagine how fire this would be if it was like a different cool looking spirally texture design, or maybe just something giving an homage to a log or the creaking texture. Like a chiseled brick with something similar to that on the top, that'd go so cool. Time and time again, Mojang has reinforced that this next drop, the winter drop as is currently known, will be releasing before the end of the year. But what if I told you we might already have the timeline set for the next drop? And a sneaky little change that somehow I missed in the changelog from Minecraft 1.21.40. Well, scrolling down through the changelog, at first it's sort of your run-of-the-mill changelog. It sort of goes over a bunch of the big changes, differences inside the new update. But eventually, after we scroll down for long enough, we get a little blurb on VR, MR, virtual reality, mixed reality. Our ability to support these devices has come to an end and will no longer be supported in updates after March 2025. So like 6 months out. Now this is interesting because this is relatively fresh off of the heels of us alerting the information that Minecraft VR for Windows 10 was no longer going to be supported. This was a big shift in the meta that I never really had the chance to talk about. I don't know, it's just been a crazy couple weeks, sorry. But now that's all being actually expanded to any VR version of Minecraft Bedrock Edition is just straight up not supported after this. We get a little bit more information reinforcing that, hey, don't worry, your access to the game isn't leaving. You can check it out on PC still. Your worlds are not going to go anywhere. Your marketplace pickups, your mine coins, they'll still be there too. It's just your headset and Minecraft, it's not going to work. No, I'm not gonna lie here, I had no clue vanilla Minecraft actually supported VR. But this date right here, March 2025, that's an interesting and randomly specific date. Timelines, I love to take a look at them. I feel like you can get a whole lot of information by taking a look at what happened in the past. We can learn from that. The past couple of years, up until the drop announcement thing, have been relatively predictable and consistent. Looking back, not so far in the past, this year, March of 2024. In March of 2024, we were in the middle of the 1.20.70 update. 1.20.70 ended up releasing this year on March 12th, 2024 for everything. 1 year before, 1.19.70 released on March 14th, 2023, so our timeline pretty much lines up exactly. Now from the king to the ring to the thick of it right here, diving into the details of the update, the weeds if you will, 1.20.70. This update right here was an update in the middle of all of the Armadillo and Wolf development that dropped. This was the update right before the official Armored Paws drop. The size of this update, it was relatively small. But that's the thing with these new drop updates and how things are going to be done. We don't exactly know what Mojang will be doing going forward, but we do know that not every single update will necessarily be a drop. So there is a chance for sure that whatever update ends up releasing in March of next year, it's not a brand new drop. Instead, whatever it is just a polishing update. However, at the same time, by that point in time, all of these features with the creaking forest, the resin, everything, that'll be said and done, fully finished being developed. By that point in time, March 2025, if that March update isn't a drop, well then almost for sure, by that point in time, the devs will at least be working on it. We'll probably even know about whatever the next drop update is. I want to end it with a little question for you. Minecraft VR mixed reality, do you play that version of the game? Tell me all about it down below. And at last, SLATE. So again, I want to send a huge shout out to all of you down in the comments that were pointing this out. This is how I found out about this. And also while we're at it real quick, I would like to say thank you for all the love you gave me on the preview video this week. I love to get to make these preview videos for you, and I'm glad you liked it. SLATE. So I like to think of this one. Maybe it all came about from like you guys messing with the resin bricks, trying to build with a beautiful build and said, oh wait, you know what will go so hard with that? Maybe deep slate. And then all of a sudden, what in the world is that? So yes, deep slate tiles. It looks beautiful with this block right here, but what in the world is slate? And this brand new UI that pops up right here. I could begin to start typing a message right here. Now following that up, after that, if I have more of an idea for a message, I can continue to type my idea for a message. And then eventually, after typing my long important message for a bit of time, I run out of space. If I try and continue typing right here, I mean, if I have a long word, the word kind of hyphenates and bumps down to the next line. But if I go ahead and like space that word out and start typing a next line, it just goes down to the next line and I can't see it. It doesn't seem like I can scroll with this UI. I mean, I can interact with it, but if I tap on it, I don't get anything else. However, if I go ahead and start backspacing words right there, then I will find that this thing, whatever I was typing, was actually continuing. Down here, I get an option. condition, locked or unlocked. If I go ahead and set this to unlocked and back out of the block, oh, the Bedrock missing block texture. But that's only the beginning of it, because from taking a look at this block right here, we clearly have a dirt block with a big question mark on it, but on the top of it, we have a weird diagonal cut through this block. Take a look at this item and take a look at how this item stacks, and then that item. This sign right here, if I place this on a block and I'm on that same diagonal, it kind of cuts through a block diagonally. On the other hand, if I turn and place that down, it goes side to side on the block. This new slate block, if I place it down looking straight forward and type a dearly important romantic message and back out of the block, well, now as I move around on this block right here, I don't have that diagonal cut, I have a side to side cut. It's almost as if this new item with this bizarre looking texture, very clean, is just a sign. Slate number 1, the one that I unlocked, if I interact with this slate, well, then I can actually see the UI and start messing with it again, like typing if I wanted to. Slate number 2, the one that I left locked, if I interact with it, well, I can still interact with it. But that's creative mode. Maybe that surpasses everything. In survival Minecraft here, if I walk up to this thing and interact with it, well, I can still interact with it. If I try and break this block right here slowly in mines, you get a block breaking sound. Loop it one more time. And then I can pick up the item again. In survival, if I place it down, the same exact thing happens. I can lock it, unlock it, whatever. Type in the thing, not type in the thing. But it's weird. What is this thing? Nobody knows, but it's provocative. But maybe somebody does know. Initially, I was puzzled, like I had no clue where to start with this thing. One sleep later, you sleep on the idea sometimes, and I realized the Minecraft wiki, I can search slate on the wiki, and something comes up. With the help of the Minecraft wiki, I can actually find an item that isn't so mysterious. It pops up, and it's called a slate. It's under the chalkboard listing on the Minecraft wiki, and we have a couple different sizes. We have a slate, we have a poster, and we have a board. Essentially, this feature is an education edition feature that is like a sign, except this time, a little bit larger. A slate is a 1x1 block, a poster is a 2x1, and then finally, a board is 2x3. It's pretty big. It's a great way to convey even more information that would maybe be possible on a plain old sign. And so that almost kind of just about does it. This new mysterious slate item that was added to Minecraft Bedrock Edition, the full preview, not Education Edition, well, it seems to be the singular Minecraft Education Edition item. But the weird part of this mystery here is if I look up chalkboard, if I look up board just in general, or if I look up poster, none of those other items show up. Only the slate item. Now, the optimist, the sleuth mystery lover in me says that maybe this is a hint at a next item that'll come to the preview next week. The realist in me, though, however, sliding over to the changelog, looking up Education Edition, we will find a total of 1 bug fix that happened in this preview dealing with Education Edition, and unfortunately, maybe something just went haywire. An interesting thing that I've noticed here, and we gotta be really quick about it, but if I open up the game, take a look at the slate, for one brief second, I'll roll it back and slow it down, but for one brief second, you can actually see the item in full in game. When you can see it in full, it looks exactly like a sign with whatever message you typed on it. So, Minecraft's new mysterious slate block, well, maybe it's not so mysterious after all, but at the same time, what's going on? I hate to leave you on a cliffhanger like this today, but we'll have to wait and see, which means it's a great time for you to subscribe, like, and turn notifications on. Next up, if you haven't yet, check out the full, long showcase, the deep dive into resin and all of the other new features. These new things are so amazing. Thanks for watching. It's been me, your handsome creaking lad, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.